Welcome to Season 4 of Sustainability Matters. I'm Tria Case. When we talk about sustainability, we're talking about using our natural resources like water, air, food, and energy responsibly to support both people and the planet for the long term. Today, we're talking about a topic close to my heart, sustainability on campus. In this episode, I'll share some of my story, including the experiences that set me on a path to where I am today, and the cool things I get to do as the head of sustainability at CUNY now. I'll also introduce you to some incredible guests whose curiosity and passion around climate issues was sparked in college. We'll find out what they're up to now and even visit a real farm right on a CUNY campus. But first, let's begin with an overview from Andrew Falzone on why sustainability matters, where we learn.
When you think college, you might think campus, but in reality, colleges are more like small cities, living, breathing, but most of all, consuming. While universities are engines of innovation that can help solve climate and sustainability issues, a large footprint means a large impact on the environment. For example, when it comes to food waste, a report from the Natural Resources Defense Council found that U.S. college students waste an average of 110 to 112 pounds of edible food per student per year. That's the equivalent of throwing out about 75 full meals each year. When it comes to energy, research labs are huge consumers. UC Irvine found that its labs occupy only 20% of campus floor area, but use 65% of the campus's energy before efficiency upgrades were made. University endowment investments are an unexpected avenue of carbon pollution. Here in New York, the legislature is considering a measure that would force CUNY and SUNY endowments to fully divest from fossil fuel holdings by 2028. The bill is being considered in an early-stage Senate committee. Still, universities are accelerators when it comes to advancing knowledge and leading environmental advocacy. CUNY laid substantial groundwork for solar power across the entire state. It created the New York Solar Map in order to prove that New Yorkers could generate enough solar to justify real investment. What started as a New York City project between government, academia, and private industry expanded statewide and laid groundwork for New York State to become a leader in community solar deployment. That's a big win for urban equity because community solar allows people who can't install solar for themselves, like renters and condo or co-op owners, to benefit. SUNY Stony Brook is leading the creation of the New York Climate Exchange on Governor's Island. The project will transform 9+ acres on the island into a living laboratory campus for climate research, technology commercialization, education, and workforce training. Meanwhile, at Princeton University, a green move-out program diverted about 20,000 pounds of items discarded during student move-out season. Everything from perfectly usable computer monitors to art, lamps, mirrors, and even a mini fridge were saved from the scrap pile. The Sabin Center for Climate Change Law at Columbia University was crucial in supporting the plaintiffs in the Held versus Montana lawsuit, a landmark case where 16 young Montana residents ages 5 to 22 sued their state for supporting fossil fuels, claiming it went against Montana's constitution, which guarantees the right to a clean, healthy environment. From Gen Z on down, young people have the most at stake in this fight to save the planet. That's why college campuses have become ground zero for climate action, the place to learn the issues, connect with allies, and turn ideas into action. I'm Andrew Falzone for Sustainability Matters on CUNY TV.
Thanks, Andrew, for giving us a high-level look at all the possibilities for sustainability on campus. I'm joined now by Caera Beightol, a recent Hunter grad who interned with us on the show last season and is fashioning a career for herself as an eco-communicator. She'll share a bit of her story, and also I'll share a bit of mine. Caera, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be back.
Yay. Yes, we're on to the next season. So last season, you were interning here. How did you come about getting the internship that brought you here to CUNY TV?
The faculty is just so, in my experience, they were very keyed into the strengths of their students. And so I was connected to Sustainability Matters through one of my professors, and I got to help with editing, producing, and working on EcoBrief.
Can you share with everyone a little bit about and helping us to create that eco-brief?
Yeah, absolutely. The team basically recognized that while talking about sustainability and the technical side of it among experts is very important, but there's also a level of personal buy-in that comes when you have someone explaining how people can get involved in their own lives. So EcoBrief sort of came out of that, and we found that for every episode, there was some way to tie in what we were talking about in studio with what people could do at home or maybe what they should know.
Well, we're looking forward to doing more of that with you in this coming season.
Yeah.
Getting that real world experience is so important when you're going through your educational experience. I know for myself, when I was in law school,
Yeah.
that's exactly how I entered it into my career, getting a fellowship and then applying that fellowship to the Attorney General's office and working on the Love Canal litigation and realizing that, oh, I could use my educational skills to make change in the world. So
Right.
really making use of what our educational institutions offer us is such an important part of navigating to your career. So you've just graduated from Hunter. How was your experience at Hunter, and how did that experience help you do what you're doing today?
Like, I had so many jaw-dropping moments in class at Hunter that I thought, wow, this is information everybody should know. So between working in climate publications, which is something I got connected to through Hunter, and helping develop and organize a science to policy forum, um, in addition to those things, I am developing a social media platform for myself where I unpack ideas of climate and sustainability for a broader audience.
Yeah, I guess I'm sort of interested to hear what your view of the eco-communicator job is.
The term eco-communicator was coined by intersectional environmentalist Leah Thomas. And it's sort of described, or I would describe it, and she would describe it as someone who is relaying information to non-expert audiences that they deserve to know. The reality is the climate crisis is the direct result of decades of deliberate deception, which you know as well. And the, the thing about that is that we need truth to counter that. So the role of the eco-communicator is kind of like the Lorax who speaks for the trees, but I think I speak as an eco-communicator for humans as well, because we're just as much a part of nature, and we deserve to have agency and social power when it comes to our environment.
It's interesting. I can apply that in my own experience around bringing technology into the marketplace. So when I first started my work with CUNY, one of the things I was focused on was helping to move the solar market in New York City. So we really needed to help the decision makers, the Department of Buildings, the fire department, to understand what is solar, what is that technology, what do you have to be worried about, what do you not have to be worried about. And once we were able to create an understanding, it was much easier to create a permitting process and then make it transparent to everybody so we could build that market here in New York City.
Right.
So it's not just the rules and the policies, but making sure that also everybody understands, right? So is that part of what you're trying to do in your social media platform as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you can't buy into something you don't believe in. You can't believe in it if you don't have the proper information.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, I'm sure you could speak to this, the climate solutions are already there. We just need more people to get on board adopting them.
It's going to take all of us to get to where we're going.
Right, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
How has your involvement in climate activism affected your life goals?
Being involved in climate justice and climate issues has sort of refined my identity as someone who is focused on speaking for other people who have had less social power historically, and also just taking that responsibility of being a good ancestor for future generations very seriously. Um, and I'm actually curious for you, since you've been in this field for a while, I know it can probably be a little bit discouraging at times when you see different things get passed over or people in power just not prioritize the things that you know to be important. So I'm wondering how you sort of keep that joy and keep that focus when you're doing the work that you do.
Yeah, great question. For me, I try to stop and take a look back at where we've come from, and that for myself, when I started my work at CUNY, we didn't have an Office of Sustainability. I had to create that office, and it's my work a combination of looking within the university across things like our energy use and reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, making sure that as we update our infrastructure, making sure that those are done with sustainability, energy efficiency, greenhouse gas emission reduction in mind, and communicating out to our students and our faculty and all the folks that are making decisions on campuses about the importance of what we buy and how we consume and how we actually dispose of what we utilize. We're trending in the right direction within CUNY. So I just think it's really important for everybody to just try to keep moving in the right direction and stay as positive as you can, because we are where we are. It's been a long time getting here. It's going to take us some time to figure out how to get out of it.
The most inspiring thing to me about what you just said is that you saw something that didn't exist and you made it happen. What gave you sort of the vision and the foresight to say this needs to get done at a stage where it didn't exist?
Yeah, from the very beginning, I knew that I had to create my pathway. And I think that that's something it's important for everybody to recognize, that you take your skills and you can, if you see something that you think needs to be done, you've got to take a chance and try to get out there and create the opportunities for yourself to make that happen. I think you're doing just the exact same thing. It was nice to see.
Thank you.
Caera, thank you so much for coming into the studio today. I really enjoyed chatting with you, and I'm really looking forward to spending more time with you during the rest of this season.
Yeah, anytime. I'm so happy to have been here and loved our conversation.
Now we'll visit Finca La Florecita, a farm right on a CUNY campus, taking the push for sustainability from college to community. On an urban campus marked by tall buildings and industrial towers, LaGuardia Community College is breaking new ground with a hands-on urban agriculture program. I went to the hub of that initiative to speak with lead educator Chelsea Encababian about this exciting space, which produced over 3,000 pounds of food this past summer.
So welcome to the garden. Let me show you around.
Okay.
So we've got some bush beans over here. Over here we've got some budding eggplants. This summer has been really fantastic. We had 6 farm crew students working with me.
And how much time are they spending in here on a given week?
Usually students are with me about 10 to 15 hours a week. They get paid through a stipend.
How big is this space?
In total it's about 1/4 of an acre.
Wow.
A little less than it,
Okay.
but we're growing in 1/3 of that 1/4 of an acre, but hoping to expand.
How did you make a decision about what to grow in the space?
So each of these beds are different student designs based off of concepts that they are learning in class.
Oh, wow.
Whether that's companion planting, trellising, intercropping, succession planting. So I know you love to talk about like waste and our carbon footprint. So I got exactly the spot for you right over here. So this is our compost area. Small but mighty. I bring my food scraps from home. But also we support the LaGuardia Cares food pantry, so they'll take any of the food waste that they have and making beautiful compost that goes back
into the garden. So I'm noticing these signs around the garden. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Right on the edge of the farm is our pollinator border. So we put some annual crops in here just to see how they would do. And they're not actually being watered that regularly. So it is something called dry farming, which is essentially taking a lot of mulch and seeing how much water retention can be there so that our crops can be resilient in a more dry, arid climate where water is a challenge. And with climate change, we foresee that being a challenge. Hopefully not, but it could be a challenge here in the future. And you'll notice that some of the annual crops that are veggie crops are doing really, really well here, which surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, everything looks very happy. So all the water comes from here?
Yes, rainwater from the loading dock through a pipe into these 3 large vessels, using the rainwater for the most part. But this is ideally the way that we can be as sustainable with water and watering our garden as much as possible. So coming in here, you're gonna see a lot of really great growth. We've got kales, collards, some tomatoes that are doing really, really well in here. And again, in the high tunnel, this allows for warmer temperatures. And this is a unique variety called blue cream tomato. It starts off as purple, blue, and then it turns into this yellow. And I'll give it to you.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think?
Sweet.
Nice.
Good.
Let's go more.
In the studio, I'm joined by Chelsea and her student Brandon, here to share the story behind the founding of the farm and its deeper significance. They'll also share how their time in college awakened their passion for the environment. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And thanks for the tour of the farm. It was amazing, and I got to try some yummy fresh vegetables, so that's excellent.
You picked the best time of year to visit us.
I think I did. So, I guess tell us a little bit about the founding of the farm and the vision.
Yeah, so Finca La Florecita is actually a really new program at LaGuardia. So it was founded under the Sustainable Urban Agriculture degree program within the environmental science major. And that's only about 2 years old at this point. And actually, we broke ground to build the 19 raised beds last summer. So it's only been a year. You know, it's a very new program, but there's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of support.
And so how does how does the work on the farm tie into the courses that you're teaching?
Wow, they integrate almost seamlessly. So I teach a myriad of different courses, some of them ranging from soil science, where we're out in the farm testing the different kinds of soil qualities, whether it's fertility, texture, and structure, um, whether that's botany classes. But really, the heart and soul of the program and its connection to Finca La Florecita is the vegetable production classes.
What made you decide to start up this program at LaGuardia?
You know, I'm from New York City. I grew up in the Bronx, and when I left New York City to go to undergrad, that was the first time I really got to experience, you know, environmentalism, um, gardens, farms, and it kind of changed my perspective on things. So going into the career, coming back to New York City, when I saw the opportunity to work at LaGuardia, I was really lucky in that the program had just started, but they didn't quite have the field experience to help it get off the ground. So my colleague, Dr. Preeti Radhakrishnan, actually was the one to push and initiate this program, and without her, it wouldn't exist. And now she and I work hand in hand.
I want to take a moment and hear from Brandon for a second. You're going through it right now. So talk to us about what you're learning. And
I'm learning a lot actually. So we have a class like the vegetable production class, where what Chelsea just said, it gave me the opportunity to create a crop map and a crop plan.
Okay.
And that's something that I didn't know was even like a thing until I took the class.
how does that sort of play out in terms of the understanding that students are getting with regard to sustainability or the ecological impact of what they're planting?
That's an amazing question. I think that students have the opportunity to be hands-on. They get to see, they get to experience in a short period of time how their impact can change the environment around them. And also, there's an element of connecting the students with the community and the amazing environmental justice work that's been done in LaGuardia, in Queens, and in New York City in general.
For me, it seeing that in real time, like honestly tied in like that concept in a way to where I see the world a little different. So when we talk about like climate change or just climate, is you have to be mindful of how you're treating the land that you live on because it's going to ultimately impact you, and because that's how the system is. It's just a closed loop.
Brandon, what made you decide to, go into this major? What brought you there, and how do you see it sort of impacting your trajectory?
Food security was a major component to it. and then me having a better understanding of like sustainable like growing practices. I don't have access because I live in an apartment in Brooklyn. I don't really have access to a growing space. I don't have a front yard, backyard. Um, and the only way I would be able to tangibly like learn and be like in a garden space is to do it on a day to day to learn in an effective enough manner so I can actually like one uh do the garden myself, but then also like teach others. That's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you're producing the vegetables in the garden, those vegetables are coming back to the local community. Can you describe a little bit about how that works?
Right now, about 95% of what's being produced from the farm goes to the LaGuardia Cares food pantry on campus. And it's actually the third most visited space at LaGuardia, right behind registrars and bursars. So it's a huge note as to why our program is so important, not only for students that are actively interested, but students that need access to food as well. And in regards to the area of Long Island City, the folks that do reside in that neighborhood face tremendous challenges economically, food access wise.
So you're impacting that food scarcity issue
Yeah.
that sent you right to LaGuardia.
Yeah. So I actually see the whole, like the full circle of the planting, the growing, the harvesting, and bringing it to the pantry. And then you see people like literally 2 minutes after you bring it there, they're like coming out with bags of it. So it's like, oh,
That's amazing.
yeah.
What do you see as the future for the garden?
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing question. So many big things. In my experience as an educator, climate catastrophe and climate fear amongst young people is really, really high right now. And it's reality. But what I find really inspiring about the work that I teach is it's a short-term inspiration for those students to feel like they have power to take back something that's sometimes very untangible or uncontrollable. And the inspiration that they get fuels them that they want to continue to do that work, whether that's in the classroom or in their personal life. And I think that's really key when you're doing this sort of environmental education work, is to not just talk about the catastrophes that happen, but also the tangible opportunities to make a change and an impact. And I think this particular program, I can't believe it's taken so long for any CUNY to have a degree in it, like an official degree in it. But I think it's just the beginning.
Wow. I that first of all, that is what gives me hope. And I think that your experience of seeing from seed to food and what you're providing to LaGuardia Community College and the students is just incredible. And I I can't tell you how much that makes me feel proud to be part of the CUNY community. So thank you both. Thank you both for what you're doing.
No, thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you to all our guests today. Your stories give me hope for the future of climate leadership. It's clear that college presents an opportune time to get engaged and active, and that college campuses themselves are ripe with opportunities to be more thoughtful around the resources that we consume. Now let's hear from Caera on easy ways to make green choices on campus.
We've been hearing all about sustainability on campus. Now let's talk about what you can do. I've headed back to Hunter College to share some ways you can make eco-friendly choices that add up throughout your day. Let's go. When the day is just getting started, make sure you fill up your water bottle before you head out. To get to class, take a train or bike. As you know, that reduces emissions, and you can get your steps in. Need a book for class? Head to the library, where you can borrow textbooks to study. Sharing resources is one way we can participate in circular economies of reduced waste, and it can also help save on costs. When it's lunchtime, hit the cafeteria and pick up a vegetarian option. These are less carbon intensive to produce than meat-based dishes, and they're super healthy too. Even if you don't cut out meat entirely, going meatless a few meals a week is a way to show the planet a little love. It's club time, and we're checking in with our peeps. Green groups on campus give us a way to plug in, get deets we need to know, and organize. Let's see what the students are up to today. Thanks for joining me to see how we can make little changes that add up. I hope you're inspired to take action on your own campus. Let's create a more sustainable world, one choice at a time.
Please keep the conversation going. Follow us or send us a message on social media. And if you haven't, download the CUNY TV app. Join us next time as we look ahead to the holiday season and the fun topic of gift giving. There's a way to show love to those you love and show love to the planet while you do. Be sure to tune in.